Well, that's an intro and a half. Shout out to that young lad who I can't help but feature into my intro, just screaming at me, screaming at Rams house, and then so excited he doesn't even finish the third, the third chant. He just starts screaming. Ah! I absolutely loved him. I saw his dad interact with that reel that I uploaded, and it was hella funny. He said he's like that all the time, and so yeah, what better Rams fan to have featured on our new intro, or at least intro work in progress for this season. Still under development, but what's not under development is training camp, because training camp is done. Off season is officially in the rearview mirror. It's done. Football season is here in Los Angeles. The next time that we see the Rams, they're going to have the joint practice sometime this week. And then in a few days, we got preseason football, like live action of horned helmets. And the first looks that we got of who these Rams could actually potentially be were through training camp. And for some of those days, Roon here, Rams Active, was present with me. One day he was able to spend on the sideline as credentialed media. The other days, he's able to get a top-down view along with the other fans in the crowd. But I was there on the sideline for 2 weeks and definitely have some thoughts that we haven't been able to put out in formal writing. So we figured, hey, let's hop on here and let's just start yapping about almost every position, at least the position groups that fans really care about the most. If you guys are joining us here, first time, many times, whatever it is, make sure you're hitting like, subscribe, all the stuff that I'm inclined to tell you as a independent YouTuber. And then if you are so eager to follow more Rams creators, Roon here is probably one of the youngest guys who's writing, who's doing, his shot at actual journalism here in sports writing. So make sure you guys are following Rams Active. We are co-streaming on his channel as we speak. So what's up, Roon? What's happening? You got the weekend to sleep off. What was training camp? First, I want to ask you, bro, like, that was your first time being that close to the action. I got to be there for 2 years now. This being your first season on the sideline, like, I just want to ask you, what was it like, man? Like, just kind of walk us through your experience. I don't want to hear about the football part yet. Don't tell me, like, oh, yeah, well, Puka did that. Like, no, for you.
Yeah.
For you, how was it being out there?
I mean, first off, I just got to meet so many cool people. Like, you introduced me to countless guys like Gary Klein, LA Times, my boy Dean Frank over at Dean Frank Sports, met Kay Adams, just everybody, just cool people all around. That was probably my favorite part, just being able to meet people. Met JB Long, just casually just meeting people who are actually like, important. And I don't know, it just felt really weird for a minute, and it was kind of took me a minute to kind of like get used to it and get acclimated. But I mean, once I got there, I don't know. It was just
locked in.
Yeah. It was just great all around from a football standpoint and from just a experience as a whole.
What would you say was your absolute favorite part of all camp? And now you can introduce a little bit of football if you want to, but for you being on the sideline, like, what was the one thing that you're like, yo, that was lit, that was sick?
I'm just seeing the boys go to work, man. Just being right there, just so close. Like, I literally just have a picture. I'm like 5 feet away from Stafford and McVay. There, I was chopping it up with Rampage too. Like, just being there on the sideline with the rest of the important people.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, Jesus says, I heard Myles Garrett was tormenting our defense. I gotta say, man, like, straight up, a lot of that definitely is true. There's a good amount of defensive suppression that I saw in our time there. So we'll definitely get into that a little bit. If you guys have questions, for sure, there's a bunch of questions that I do want to get through from Instagram. I posted the survey a few days ago, just asking what questions people had. So we're gonna do our best to go through those as well. But if you are here right now, we'll do our best to go ahead and star a few and address as many as we can before we get out of here. But first, man, what I want to talk about with you, since this seems to be the topic of obsession for all of us Rams fans right now, is who is really going to come in and back up our sweet Matthew. We've got two lads on screen here warming up during one of those practices. Stetson Bennett, number 13, and then obviously Ty Simpson, first round pick. And a lot of people giving their voice of opinion saying, hey, Ty Simpson is ass if he's not starting, not earning quarterback 2 already. It was announced by McVay a few days ago that he will, in fact, be playing in preseason. And if you follow how the Rams typically handle their quarterback situations, their QB2 doesn't play preseason. They don't want to risk him getting hurt. They look at preseason as not the end all be all for games of like deciding what your position is. I feel like they generally have a pretty good idea of where you're going to land come week 1. And preseason is a chance for all those guys to get good film for potentially other teams, to maybe change their mind last second to land a practice squad, or just to, show, hey, actually, you missed out. I am the next Puka Nacua. You missed out on me. But it's Ty Simpson in preseason, man. First thought, how do we feel about that? And what are we expecting to see out of him first game?
I mean, I honestly think he should. Like, I don't care if they think he's going to be QB2 or QB3. I think he should be playing at least one game, at least. So I think just giving him a lot of reps in non-critical situations is all, but it's okay. I tried to word it all fancy and try to be, I don't know, but it'll be fine. I think even if he is QB3,
some big time analyst.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think getting him acclimated to the system and getting him real reps against other teams, because so far his only action has been against our own defense. So I think having him go against guys in Kansas City, and maybe we might be looking at him starting all 3 games, if not 2. You might see something similar to last year. Stetson Bennett started games 1 and 2. Balled out in both of them, and then Dresser Wynn started the 3rd against Cleveland.
That's a name,
but,
Dresser Wynn.
I didn't like him, not at all. But
He's still out there. Man.
So is Brett Rippon. You made sure to bring that up to a lot of people. That I didn't want to see that today.
No, and that's the point. Like I hope that my sarcasm did come through the post. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, earlier today I did have some fun, because like you just gotta look at the landscape of Rams opinions online over the weekend, and everyone had, like I said, everyone has their opinion on Stetson Bennett. He's not the answer. Ty Simpson, people are willing to take a chance on him. They're like, fuck it, throw him in there now. Some people are like, everyone sucks, let's go get somebody else. Well, Jimmy G was the option, and I think he was the top one. And without him there, you have to look at the rest of the free agency. And so I posed the question for Rams fans, uninspired by the QB2 situation, may I suggest one sweet free agent name? And yes, on your screen is Brett Rippon, former Ram, what else was he? Former Viking, a lot of other stuff. And everyone's memory of him is definitely that Green Bay game in 2023. Where all his job was, as I like to put it, the game plan was literally, please just hand the ball off all game. And that wasn't doable. I don't know. I've blacked out from that game. I wanted to flip my couch. I don't know if like exactly what the conversation was from McVay afterwards of he wanted to do more with him, or regardless of what the reasoning is, it was an all-time potential fumble of an opportunity by Brett Rippon for himself as well. Like you come in, just like Stetson Bennett's going to maybe have the opportunity at one point. Either it's because there's a blowout, you want to rest Stafford, or, hey, man, I'm old, got nicked up, thumb is hurting, so I need to sit out for, half a game or a game or two. Stetson's going to have the same opportunity, and I do think that there is a lot more potential to be had, upside of either Stetson or Ty playing quarterback behind Matthew Stafford, as opposed to Brett Rippon, even Jimmy Garoppolo. Who else is there? John Wolford. And you could maybe go trade for a guy. But you look across the landscape of the backup quarterbacks. I'll bring it up here. Somebody asked me earlier, like, who are actually the best ones? Like comparing other rosters. does everybody else have their quarterback 2 situation figured out, or are fans forgetting that this is more of an NFL thing, that there's not 32 good quarterbacks, let alone more than 32 to fill in the ranks of your backup spots. We can't have a superstar at every single position. It's not cope in that regard. It's just fact. The best ones right now, like Joe Flacco, I was hoping the Rams would maybe go trade for Joe Flacco if they could afford him. Another veteran, a guy who clearly can step into some chaos and sling the pill, and looked very good at in spot starts for Cincinnati to at least keep their playoff hopes alive. Strong arm still too. Mac Jones, that's not happening. Tua, and then after that, it's Tua, Jameis Winston. I love the charisma, but is he the right fit? And then you're already at rookies. You're already at a guy named Fernando Mendoza that not even everyone is a consensus. Yes, he's going to be the next Andrew Luck type guy. And then the rest is a grab bag of guys who are boom or bust, potential failed number 1 picks, really young guys that you could see some physical traits, but either crazy inconsistent like Tyson Bagent. Like I don't know if anybody thinks Tyson Bagent is like, oh, he just needs his chance and he's going to be a superstar. There across the board, like there's not a plethora of guys that you can just go pluck from and add, even if having McVay on offense. Clearly, look at Brett Rippon. Look at John Warford, like past guys that it's not true. You can't just plug anybody in there. You have to have some quality that you really enjoy. This is what about the mayonnaise eating dude? Talking about what's the first name? Levis?
Will Levis.
Will Levis. I put him in a lower regard to even Justin Fields. I'd rather have Justin Fields than Will Levis. I don't think he has any, like, you got to tear him down to the skeleton of the house with his pocket presence and his release. It's just, he's like Joe Milton right now. He has one speed. You're running a slant. I don't know, how did I put it? Oh, if you need a 65-yard pass, Joe Milton's your guy. If you need a 6-yard pass, Joe Milton will throw it 65 yards for you. Like that's kind of the Will Levis thing. He's going to fire it in there no matter what. Doesn't have those arm trajectories like I've seen from both Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson. Let me ask you, with your very young perception, like you were, right around the age of 18, and so you don't have as many watching years as some of our viewers. Like, what do you see when you look at these young guys, like in your, time watching football?
Well, first off, I want to say I think I'm higher on Tyson Bagent than you are. I think I remember him starting a Thursday night game. I forgot against 2.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look bad. He didn't look bad at all, especially for a guy who was, I'm pretty sure, I don't even know what school he came out of. Was it?
Small one.
I want to say it was like, I don't think it was South Dakota, right?
It was, let's see, Martinsburg High School, and then played Division II, Shepherd University. Let's see, Shepherd University, and then was that it? Let's see. Yeah, I think that was it. I think that's where he went to. Yeah, super small school. That's not to say he can't ball. Like, I'm not low on him, but no one's under consideration saying that Tyson Bagent, you throw him on a championship caliber roster, it's like, oh yeah, like this is who we always thought he was. Like, he's not coming out throwing 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. I think that's really what I mean. It doesn't matter if it is Justin Fields, doesn't matter if it's Tyson Bagent, Joe Flacco. None of those names are guys that are waiting in the wings. Regardless of the age, regardless of the draft stock, they're backups for a reason. And it was more of a reminder. Was it Toledo? I don't remember. Yeah, this is how I feel about Stetson, though. Stetson is a gamer, confident he could fill the duty as a quarterback too. Think he can surprise you with first-team talent. Of course, I hope he never takes snaps this upcoming season. And that's what we're talking about, is he may never see the field, and we're having all these conversations for absolutely no reason. But on the case that he has to be, what I do like about him is the fact I think he's a gamer. You've seen his upside at Georgia. You surround him with talent. He's very comfortable in his system, and he can do some damage, make some throws to his guys. My worry is at the NFL level, can he just from the pocket, from an off-script situation, hey, man, it's 3rd and 12, go rip it like Matthew Stafford would and go get a first down to save the drive. I don't know if he can consistently do that from the pocket for a number of reasons, but I do think his strength for what would be very stressful games with Stetson Bennett, if the ground game is rolling and a play action pass is established and it's a threat on any given week, in that scenario, Stetson Bennett, I think, like would surprise a lot of folks and roll. It's the unscripted, it's the from the pocket, get back on track plays that I don't know if it's either he's got to do it or fucking not. It's as simple as that. Those mid-level throws, the ends, the deep shots, the chunk plays. Like I like to think he can. Did you see any of that from camp, or did you see him playing it safe? I know some folks were trying to say, well, Ty Simpson made bigger throws without the context of he is, with the 2s and 3s all through camp.
Yeah, I think he played it relatively safe. What I saw is he didn't really try to make the challenging play. He saw the throw, made the throw. Didn't really, because you see things that Stafford does, like nothing Stafford does should be like categorized as human.
Good point.
But Stetson, he kind of just played it safe. He made his reads. He just played quarterback. That's really all I can say. He did his job, is what I'm just trying to say. We missed a super from the.
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. But no, it's not, and it's really hard not to have that on the fence take and not a homer take, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit here and say, like, come on, guys. McVay is signing off on Stetson. Of course he's going to be great. Yeah, he also signed off on that defensive back room last year, and now 2 of them are retired, and one of them is about to come back home and join practice, and we'll see if he's actually like competitive still. But it has been a night and day difference on that defensive back group, and we'll get there. Shout out to Land Shark though, man. We do. I love the guy. Like, I genuinely do.
Yeah.
Aiden, shout out to Aiden. Got to see him at camp as well. I think both guys had their ups and downs at camp, but both progressing in this offense, and that is true. I do. It's like obvious Stetson is further along in like the mental game of it, and then Simpson is doing all the things that you really are hoping that he does, staying late after practice, doing a bunch of really shitty cardio quarterback drills. He's always at the hip of Dave Ragone, the quarterback's coach, and that's that part of having Dave in the quarterback room still and him not OC is where I think they're going to be okay. I think they're really going to be okay at quarterback too, because I think the more deserving may have been by tenure moving Dave up to OC, but then now who's focusing on quarterbacks? Do you want to risk splitting his time between co-OC and quarterbacks? And then what is Nate doing? So I think how they navigated the promotions and offensive coach staff positioning, I think is for the betterment of the team. I don't know if Dave loves it. I know I'm pretty sure he wants to get promoted too, but he's got such an important job. Like, the fate of the franchise is kind of on Dave Ragone's shoulders right now. Like, you also got to, help keep that edge for Stafford. He's still human. He's still year 18. Yeah, you're MVP, but at the same time, you need your edge. You got a new 17 games you got to go play. Last year don't matter. And then also he's navigating QB2 and helping fucking Ty Simpson get ready to take over the reins at some point. So I try not to be a homer. Am I coming off as a homer at all with my positivity?
No, not really.
What's the best thing that you saw from Stetson? Like, whether it's an intangible, whether it was a certain throw, just from your recollection, was there one play, one day where you're like, okay, I see it from him?
To be honest, I think it's just the comfortability. I think being somebody who went to training camp in Stetson's rookie year versus now being here for his 4th year, final year on his rookie deal, you can just see way more comfortability. And that comes obviously with tenure. But Stetson, he played high-level ball, won back-to-back natties at Georgia.
Yep.
But he is just looking way more comfortable versus his rookie year. I mean, of course, he was the QB3 his rookie year, so he really wasn't up there with the big boys just yet. But no, he just looked way more comfortable. And I mean, he made mistakes, but everybody makes mistakes. That's when you make mistakes, is training camp. So, I mean, I'm fine with making mistakes in training camp.
I'm looking for I really don't know where the hell Joe moved our sounds. I'm sad. I'm looking through our sounds right now, because I got to get back to Roger's super chat, and I'm looking at these. And I'm like, where the hell did Joe move? I'm looking at these. These are not. These are not the air horn. I guess I'm gonna hit this one. I have no idea how loud this is gonna be. I'm so sorry in advance. Shout out to Roger for the $9.99. Hola, señores. Just like Troy Reader, please keep Rippin as far away from the team as possible. He can't hurt you anymore, but Brett Rippin can. He's a free agent. So there's a reality where he does join the team, and I hope I didn't put that idea out in the air. But thank you for the super chat, and here's the sound that we selected for you, sir. Okay, that was the worst explosion I've ever heard in my life.
That's not an explosion.
There we go. Thank you, Roger. I don't know what the hell he did with the air horns. It's like gone, but I think he genuinely just moved it just for himself. So I can't get rid of it. Like he has it for in his own little pocket over there. So, Bad Mofo Ramfan, I know what you're saying, but I hate how this looks written out. Mouth horn. Never again. Let's never type that out ever again. When it comes down to it, though, to wrap up the quarterback stuff, I think Matthew Stafford has a chance to actually be better than he was last year. As crazy as that sounds, I don't think his age truly matters whatsoever. I think his connection with Puka and Devontae is just getting better, and the fact that he's got his returning O-line and a tight end room and a running back room who should be slightly better as well, that it's not crazy to think he could repeat his MVP. And at the same time, I don't think it's crazy to say that if he happened to miss a quarter, a game, whatever it is, that Stetson Bennett can come in and absolutely keep you on track and keep you as a winning team each week until Matthew Stafford comes back. So I do want to hit some of these questions that were coming in here. Bad Mofo says AD is waiting for joint practices, in my opinion. Yes, we could talk about that for a hot second before we jump over to the wide receivers. Did you see the video of him training, Roon? I'm sure you did, right?
Yeah, with Fisk and Desmond.
What'd you think about that? I'm pulling it up right now.
He is not taking a step back. It doesn't look like that's just looking at that. Like, just look at him go.
Yeah, if you guys are watching here on YouTube, it is shout out to was it 2/10? 2/10 speed agility.
Look at this one.
Yeah, they uploaded a video this morning, just on their own. Aaron Donald working out at a Rams facility. I'm gonna assume this is as recent as this morning. I didn't see any like official reports coming out of the Rams.
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay, so yesterday, and then it's AD going through agility drills along with Braden Fisk and Deshaun Johnson. It's always good to see, other names besides just the obvious stars. Like, it'd be one thing if Myles Garrett was out there working out, but the fact is Fisk out there keeping up to it looks good too. Shout out to Deshaun, man. Looks quicker than what I've seen in the past. I know Shula had mentioned like about a week ago how impressed he was with Deshaun as well. I think he slimmed down a little bit. I forgot exactly what it was, but I think they're going to be asking him to do a little bit more than just come off the edge, kind of play a little bit of the outside backer, like actually help out in coverage on tight ends as well when he is on the field. So really excited for him. Excited for Keir Thomas, those guys. But I want to hop over to wide receiver, man. Let's go. The wide receivers, and one I would argue is actually the best wide receiver room in the NFL, headed by some guys, little names by Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I don't know if you guys have heard of them before, but I think it's wild that we have forgotten they didn't get any training camp with Matthew Stafford last year. And for as much as reps matter, how come nobody talks about that part, that Stafford did all that without a training camp? Like, what do you think that is?
I zoned out. I was just watching them.
Thanks.
I was just watching the background video.
So I'm saying they did all that last year. Devontae Adams, 14 touchdowns. Puka Nacua was like, he missed a game and it was right there for Offensive Player of the Year. They did all this without having training camp reps. They only had OTAs and then that little bit of time between preseason and regular season to get on the same page. What's to stop this from being an even better group this year? And are we again being homers by saying that this is the best wide receiver group from 1 through 6 in the NFL?
I don't think that's a crazy statement at all. I think the fact that they didn't have a full offseason program as quarterback and wide receivers as like a full like unit, I think that's pretty scary, and I think that's something that's not talked about enough. I actually read Gary Klein's piece. I don't know when exactly he uploaded it. It was either today or yesterday, but it was on Devontae Adams, pretty much talking about how Stafford and Devontae kind of had their miscues for the first couple games of the year, and then that London game was just the catalyst for all the bullshit that Devontae gave to opposing defenses for the rest of the year. So that I don't know. I think they'll have their poop in the group to start the year. I that's what I can assume, at least. I don't think there should be any problems. And if there is, it's probably, I don't know. I just want football to be back, man. Like we gotta get this Saturday. It feels so good.
I hear you. Yeah, 14 touchdowns wasn't enough. Nope, it was not enough. Remember, he missed some time. He didn't even play a full 17. They really, and up on the screen, it's just a screen grab of Gary Klein's piece here that did come out earlier. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning. And his opener, I remember Devontae saying this at the press conference earlier this week, but here, rating from LA Times, quarterback Matthew Stafford was seated a row in front of veteran receiver Devontae Adams, who once again had fallen just short of finally reaching the Super Bowl. So this is taking it back to the flight, after the Seattle loss in the NFC Championship game. Devontae said he's turned around. He's looking at me like, I'm sorry, man. I wanted that for you so bad. Adams recalled. Not for him, but he wanted it for me. Adams, 33, is expected to get another shot playing NFL's biggest stage. Stars said the Rams are not only play in, but when I can't read at all. But yeah, just referencing Gary Klein, shout out to him. He's always super, super kind to myself and a lot of other writers in the industry here in Los Angeles. But it's super everything. Like, yeah, two guys are going to be Gold Jacket Hall of Famers, and now they're actually getting time together to work out those kinks. It takes an incredible amount of accuracy, savviness, and technical approach from Devontae Adams. And anytime that they're connecting for those goal line fades, like you go watch the one that he had against Jalen Watson, it's undeniable that if those two are locked in, it's very hard to stop those in the red zone. And no, 14 touchdowns is not enough because they didn't win the Super Bowl. And I will wear this hat all year. I will wear this hat with Ram stuff, 2 games. I will wear it when they play against the Seahawks as a reminder that you lost out on this. I was there in San Francisco and saw a lot of Seahawks shit, and it looked awkward. And you lost your opportunity. Seahawks were the better team, and I think some of those players on the defense had a little bit of the incorrect attitude heading into Seattle. And so I will wear that as a reminder to myself as well, that last camp I thought that defensive back group was going to do it. And I had my own blind spot. So this hat is for blind spots. Besides the stars of Puka and Devontae Adams, everyone wants to know about the wide receiver 3 position battle. I have my own take on it, but I want to hear from you first, Roon. Do you think that there was one receiver that elevated and is worthy of just owning that title of any time they start a game? It should be that receiver as the third option behind Puka and Devontae.
I think one guy that immediately stands out to me is, of course, CJ Daniels. I mean, everybody was talking about CJ Daniels. Just from being there for 3 days, I heard CJ Daniels' name a lot. And especially on the first day, I heard kids in the goddamn stands just CJ. Like people love CJ. But yeah, I think he showed a lot. But I think the fact he's going into his rookie year, I don't see him taking over that wide receiver 3 spot immediately. I think that spot, personally, I think it's going to go to Kanate, who I think had also a really good training camp. He looked like he has refined his technique a lot. You can see that on what I saw was his get off is what I saw the most in change. Like, yeah. That was sweet.
Yeah, up on
Is
the
that
screen.
Jackpot? Is that Jackpot's clip?
It was shared by you, so I'm not sure if it was from him or what. But this is Rams Active on Twitter, just showing a play from the fans' perspective of a Ty Simpson to C.J. Daniels connection in the back of the end zone during a practice period. And I agree, man. He's got like the real deal of all the intangibles. Like he's got hands. He belongs on an NFL field, but all the stuff that he was doing was like with the backups. He wasn't mossing Trent McDuffie. Like he wasn't embarrassing Jalen Watson, and that stuff does matter because what you can take from it, if I'm in your shoes, right? That's like trying to understand like what do we take away from practices, because it doesn't matter if you're going up against just threes and dominating or ones and dominating. I think CJ is already very early on somewhere between consistently probably better than threes and twos, but I don't know if it'll translate to making those plays as consistently against starting caliber defenses, not because of the physical tools, but because it takes a lot of mental like reps with McVay's offense of being where the fuck you need to be when Stafford wants you to be there. Otherwise, get out. next man up. We'll go 13 personnel, and you'll never touch the field again. That's more what that is. And then you were talking about Konate, and I agree, man. His routes were so crispy.
Yeah,
like I got this one before pads went on, but if you compare it side by side to last year, he just looks like a different player. He accelerates out of the burst so strong. He has some bounce that he looked strong jumping up for passes over the middle that I was impressed by. Like looks a lot springy. I don't know. Like, did he look different to you physically in the offseason? And then making the most of when your number is called. Like I said, don't fuck up. Otherwise, next man up is going to be Jay Witt or it's going to be Xavier Smith. But no, I like your point saying that not one guy really elevated. Do you think it's going to stay that way? Like guys are just going to it's going to be a week by week basis for the wide receiver room?
I think it might change a little bit just depending on the kind of defense we're playing. Mm-hmm. But I think Konate will stay as that third receiver option for most of the season because that's what he was kind of getting. He was kind of getting that treatment near the end of the season last year. So I think they're high on him. And just seeing he's taken some strides this offseason, I think you'll have that. I think you'll have that role. But I think it'll be more of a rotation. But I mean, what do I know? I'm not an offensive coordinator.
So what do I know?
But I think CJ definitely, there is a path for him to earn his spot to kind of leapfrog Konate, but it's going to take some time.
I don't know. I really don't think. I don't think this is the year that we're going to see CJ Daniels really do his thing. I do think it's going to be these three. I think on any given week, it might just end up being Jordan Whittington's got 3 catches for 45 yards, and he made some sweet blocks. The next week, it'll be like two chunk play catches for Xavier Smith and a nice special teams play. And then Konate will have like 2 weeks in a row where he looks like, damn, he needs to be the next wide receiver 3, and then we don't hear from him for 3 weeks. Like on a case by case, like the same thing with the tight ends, and we'll just kind of bleed in those two groups because I think it's the same thing. I think the pecking order is pretty apparent based on not even what's the Madden exciting potential that we always look towards, but it's more of a who does Stafford trust and who is actually good in this McVay system. And it's like people want the Terrence Ferguson answer or the Max Clare exciting because it's new. And of course, every pick that we get is the next big thing. They don't want to hear that it's going to be Parkinson and Higbee probably starting, and that Ferguson might do great. He might show you more of what we thought he was his rookie year, but it still may not be the breakout year. I don't think so. So I'm curious what you think of, not to take the wind out of people's sails, because I know you're really excited about Ferguson too. Are you seeing something different where you think he will have that like wide receiver 3 kind of look year by the time it's all said and done on the stat sheet?
It's hard to tell, honestly, because on one hand, I want to think that they're just going to go back to what works, but at the same time, they might be changing some things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to tell if I had to answer like truthfully.
Muad'Dib says a tight end could do your job. Shout out to Muad'Dib, man. Glad you're here, bro. Danny asked, will we see these wide receivers during preseason to win wide receiver 3? Actually, that's a good question. That could actually be some answers as well. I'll have to look back and see how they cut the reps for special teams, because if I remember, I don't remember seeing guys that we were expecting to see in week 1 against the Chargers. I remember seeing a lot of Mario Williams, a lot of not Tyler Scott. Was it Tyler Johnson? No, he wasn't here last year. Yeah, a lot of True Edwards, a lot of Mario Edwards in that game. I don't know if we like. Obviously, I'm not going to see Jay Witt to that extent because he's too important on special teams. And I think I'm going to guess the same with Xavier Smith. I think those first 5 receivers, if they do any preseason, it's going to be limited, and I don't think it'll be all game. I don't think they want to risk, as crazy as it sounds, I don't think they want to risk Konate or Xavier in the 4th quarter of a preseason game when they probably already know what the pecking order is for wide receivers. I don't think they want to risk them for special teams purposes. And then the last bit, man, like I saw somebody come in here. I'm assuming it's a Cowboys fan. I'm hoping it's a Cowboys fan, not a traitorous Rams fan. Coming in here saying Cowboys have the best wide receiver duo. Maybe like projected numbers wise on Madden, like I talked about. I love George Pickens. I think he gets the shit end of the stick when it comes to national like media, how they talk about him. But and CeeDee Lamb is very underrated. I love those guys. But I don't think they're the best. I don't think they're better than the Bengals duo, and I don't think the Bengals duo is better than the Rams duo. Because at the end of the day, it's production. Who was the best production wise last year? Like, it was the Rams. So at that point, it's just factual. The Rams have the best duo right now. Des Serbin. Regarding Ferguson, do you think he's having problems with the playbook? No, I don't think it's a playbook. I think it's I think they're blocking and how they were asked to establish technique inside, like inline blocking, is different than what he's accustomed to. Definitely had a quantity purpose from Oregon. And so that just takes some time to get used to do it the right way, because that is truly just live reps. You can watch film on where to place your hands over and over, but you got to go and do it. But I just think what Higbee does comfortably with Stafford is such an underrated part of the offense, and then the same with Parkinson as well. Yeah, don't forget about BP with amazing catch against Chargers. Yeah, man, Brendan Presley. That's another name I forgot. But I think those guys, I think we'll probably see a lot of those guys, especially because they're, second and third teamers, and put 2 and 2 together. They have some connection establishing with Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson. And so Ty going out there, he's going to have his guys that he has been working with. Feed the Frenzy says, any word on Cliff Kingsbury and his contributions? I see you, NFC West rival, trying to get information on a team that we cover. I see you. No, it's funny because we actually talked about this last sideline, how I've been kind of too afraid to ask. Like, where's this shadowy figure extra head coach that we never see anywhere? You see him out of the field sometimes, and I don't think he's there for like an on the field like ordeal. I think it's more for McVay, if I had to guess. I think to help him, and then in suit help Kingsbury as well. He's probably just there learning a whole bunch. Yeah. Anyways, I'll keep this one up for you, Roon. Watt Runnett says, do you guys feel like a lot of opposing fans are starting to have Rams hype fatigue? I'm starting to see it. I know you talked to some fans online.
Everyone's always going to have something to say. It doesn't matter if your team genuinely is the best team in the league, which I think every collective fan base, well, most of them anyway, can come together and be like, yeah, the Rams are pretty stacked and they're the best team in the league, and we're kind of pissed off about it. But there's some fans, I don't even got to mention what team they support, because I think we already know, but just they don't genuinely believe the Rams are the best team in the league. And it doesn't make me mad, because 1, I know the Rams are the best team in the league, and 2, they're just being ignorant and biased because their team is the only good team in the league in their eyes. And there's the bad part about being kind of like an online presence is you're going to run into people like that. You're going to run into people who come into your live stream and are talking about whatever team, and they're doing this, doing that. And you kind of just got to learn to deal with it. But in terms of like hype fatigue, I mean, I had 49er hype fatigue when they were like, oh, the 49ers are going to go win the Super Bowl, play the Ravens. Like, I remember that year when the 49ers were like destined to win the Super Bowl, and they got wiped off by our two new CBs. Oh,
Kamal Kobe says cough cough corn doggy. Yes, our good friend Corn Doggy.
he's cool about it though.
He's around here
He's
somewhere.
cool about it.
But yeah, what he's talking about is Seahawks fans, and there was a content creator that I quote tweeted today just because it gets really tiring. From my orbit of people, my time with like talking to endless amounts of Rams fans, whether they're here locally or like in other states, I promise you, man, no one genuinely brings up Seattle. When those games are brought to our attention for the purpose of like, how do we get better this year? Anytime we look at those games versus Seattle, we talk about how great the games were, how it sucks that we have to wait until like the end of the season for both matchups, like rematches. It's really stupid. And that how like we fucked up. Like there's no, oh, you got lucky. There's going to be a few voices like that are just way too loud, but they're usually the minority. That's the social media rule. Just because they're the loudest doesn't mean they're the majority in real life. And it's just not true. And that's with most content creators as well. We look at it as, yeah, that's more on the defense for not arriving prepared. You thought Sam Darnold was going to do nothing, and you got torched for it. It was a deserved loss, 1,000%. And there's no like, don't go like. I was so, and then somebody brought it to my attention that maybe it's because Seahawks are upset because the Rams are in a lot of the media right now. Like crazy offseason, deservedly deserves attention. And I agree. This, like, you win a Super Bowl, you should be the media darling for at least a while. I felt that way after Super Bowl 56. I was annoyed because I went to watch Pat McAfee hungover the next morning, and it was like maybe a 10-minute like clip of the Super Bowl, and then they rolled on and for the next 3 hours talked about everything else besides the Super Bowl. And I'm just like, all right, that sucks. Like, I was excited to gloat a little bit, and they may be experiencing a little bit of that, but at the same time, I didn't go into Cincinnati Bengals subreddits and talk shit to them. I'm like, like, no, I don't fucking care about you. Like, that's not how it works.
It's just that's the most annoying part. Is it's when hashtag them, they come into our like posts, and it could be like Rampage reveals new something, and then they're in the comments posting their stupid ass JSN gifs, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like,
there he
yeah,
is.
Corn Doggy said the Rams smell. I'll tell you what. You want to know what doesn't smell? I got something I want to show everybody.
God. What doesn't smell? Shut up. You got the MVP, the Old Spice. Do you think he actually uses that? There's no way he uses Old Spice. There's not a chance.
There's no way. Have you seen the commercial?
It's an awful commercial.
Yeah, they should have put him on the damn like the horse or whatever.
Dude, yeah.
Except they just got him. They just got him. Cedar winning clutch.
I watched that and I'm like, he immediately yelled at his agent and probably was like all pissed at Kelly after that because there's no way he had fun doing that shit. Like, no. Yeah, Corn Dog, I mean, tell us, bro. Like, what's the word in Seahawks in 12th man? Like, because you and I talk and you see my interactions. Like, even in our group chat, it's not a Seahawks got lucky. It's genuinely I'm mad at my own team because we fucking lost. Like, that's all it is ever. But he says the toughest part is you can say we have the best team, and your odds to win the Super Bowl is 8 to 15%. And are you referencing? Is that the odds right now? Don't throw numbers at me. I'm so dumb with numbers. What is all this about?
Yeah, see that
in chat.
They got on the horse.
Oh, I see what you mean. Gotcha. Yeah, smells like a Super Bowl coming in at SoFi. The next position group that I do want to talk about, getting back on track here, coming from the defense, but not the entire defense. I do not use Axe body spray. How dare you? I was once 14 and I did once, but it's a long time ago. On the defense, I want to talk about triggering my ADHD here. I want to talk about the edge rushers. I was excited coming in. Just obviously, you get to watch Myles Garrett and Byron Young and all those guys do their thing. But what I was happy coming out of practice with was I didn't realize I was overlooking the development of what the Rams do, and they develop their players really well, especially at certain positions. And I think edge could be one of those as well. Behind, it's funny they don't have. Oh, here he is. Myles Garrett, Byron Young being your two primary edge rushers. Behind him, was not surprised to see a lot of Josiah Stewart. He was hyped up by Shula as well. Fans in attendance were able to notice. It's hard in the trenches to notice when one guy stands out, especially when he's not the biggest like Myles Garrett. But Josiah Stewart constantly around the ball. Loved what I saw out of him. Deshaun Johnson is constantly around the ball. He was a presence as well. He was constantly on the field. I think he's going to be he's slotted for that backup spot. And the surprise for me was Wesley Bailey. I don't know if you got a chance to see him too much as well, Roon, and what you were watching, but Wesley Bailey, man, 6'5", 265, at least what he's got on here. So even if they're lying and he's only 6'4", 245, 250, plenty big, and doesn't look it. I think he's more slim than his size actually is listed on paper, and he has more bend than I realized, man. But from the defense, whether it's the edge rusher or what are you most impressed by that you saw out there?
Can you repeat that?
For whether it was the defense in general, the edge rushers, like I'm bringing up right now, what was the most impressive thing that you saw from the defense?
I don't know who exactly said this, but I heard something and it kind of stuck out to me. They said it seemed like the DBs were the MVP of training camp. And I think that's really telling.
It was, and you add that together with what I said earlier, that it's the best wide receiver duo, if not room, in the NFL. It's a complete night and day, excuse me, switch from last season. Last season, it was so easy to tell how much better Devontae Adams is than your run-of-the-mill defensive backs because he's just wide open. I went back and looked at my notes to compare, and every other note's Adams is just fucking wide open all the time. No one can cover him. And it's completely different from my notes this year where you saw Matthew Stafford slinging it and stuff's not wide open. He's able to make it because he can, throw it anywhere he fucking wants. But if it's Stetson Bennett, if it's any other average league starter, hell, there was days now with Stafford where he struggled. So you got the reigning MVP struggling against his defense. Yeah, man, they put up some performances in practice where you look at them they can be very smothering. They can be overwhelming for even Matthew Stafford and these DBs. Even stuff downfield where Puka normally is coming down with it. That play where Trent McDuffie broke it up. You're watching that, and so for somebody who I know you really enjoy Puka, you think Puka in your mind is number one in the NFL. So when you see these DBs doing what they did to those guys, what's the reaction? Do you question okay, are the receivers taking a step back? Is it just a mirage from the DBs? So how do you take all that when you're watching it?
If we added some rather unfamiliar faces, I'd be kind of raising an eyebrow, but you look at it and you add two guys who won back-to-back Super Bowls. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. Let's be honest here. Trent McDuffie, he's a former All-Pro. He was, at one point, the highest paid corner in the league, which I think shows.
Short-lived.
Yeah. Yeah, but that shows how much they view both dudes. So I think they're great. They're going to be great. You already know how I feel about Jalen Watson. Trent McDuffie's not talked about nearly as much because, of course, you go and get Myles Garrett, and then immediately after Myles Garrett, you have Aaron Donald say, "Hey guys, I might be coming back." So I think Trent McDuffie doesn't get a lot of attention, but he's going to be one of the best pieces of this team. We're going to be looking back at the end of the season. Say you do win a Super Bowl, we're going to be looking at Trent McDuffie and just being like, "Hey, that was a slam dunk."
Oh yeah. It's if those guys can stay healthy, I think what they're adding is a little bit of confidence to the rest of the room too. And so it's not a situation where it's just top heavy, where oh man, if Trent misses a few games, is the secondary just gonna fall to shit? That's why you go make sure you get Miles Garrett. That's why you make it undeniable, so that way you are kind of giving yourself insurance at different levels from injury. Because it's the NFL, man. These guys are going to play hard. We had some guys missing last year. Like we can't be one Quentin Lake injury away from the defense looking wildly different. Somebody else has to step up, and that's where you get Cam Kinchins can probably step in for Quentin Lake, Josh Wallace, Tank McCullough, who could step in for Trent. Like, okay, you still got Jalen on the other side. Let's swing in Emmanuel Forbes, who he had a lot of good plays against Tay, more than he had last year. There's definitely a step of growth from him, and it's not even the physical part; it's more the mental. I think guys are able to play a little bit more free. It did look like guys are flying around upfield, like towards the line of scrimmage on stuff they would normally kind of sit back on. And then that's where you start to see it's not just sit back in zone and wait to receive everything and react. We're starting to see more man and like infused in this defense. And that's going to let Shula let loose the dogs, have those really exotic blitzes because you can only do so much from zone. The perfect example for anybody curious, like what that looks like difference wise, go and watch, like, since we're talking about the Seahawks, go watch the Seattle in the Super Bowl and how they're fucking with Drake May. Like, not everything's zone. Some shit looks like zone and it's man, and you got weird guys blitzing from different spots. It's overwhelming at times when you keep an offense guessing and they have no idea what the fuck is going to happen, because not just from scheme, but the guys who are positionless. And then compare that with week 5, Rams San Francisco against Mac Jones, and how it didn't seem to matter what the fuck they called. Mac Jones is bloody, beaten. The Niners are half injured, like they are currently right now, and then still managed to outmuscle the Rams because they just sat back. They didn't have an aggressive piece, an aggressive scheme to counter that. And so that difference right there, I think, is a huge thing that they're implementing. Sorry to be super long-winded. Yeah, but Kamal says Dre Norwood got cut for injuries. Yeah, but Alexander Hamilton came back. They just signed somebody else as well, and so it's nice to see them being proactive and not just saying, "All right, we got other guys." Like this time, they're refilling the back end with some talent, and there's some exciting UDFA talent back there. I think so for sure. Let me see. Go through these guys real quick. Watt asks, does anyone know a way to watch the joint practice tomorrow? Unless somebody probably goes live on their social media, I don't think that they don't do that. And I'm actually not gonna be out there at joint practice. I got word that camp credentials are not being extended an extra week like they were last year. I think because of just the amount of media that's trying to be present for everything that the Rams are doing, because of how obviously they're in every headline. Spaces are limited, and we got the short end of the stick. Independence. But so we figured today was a good day to like, all right, cool. We're wrapping up practice. Let's get a recap, and then we're full preseason moving forward. And then I don't want to spend 3 hours going through every position group. What's the next position group that you really were itching to talk about, Roon?
So what do we covered? QBs,
receivers,
wide receivers, DBs,
edges,
running backs.
You want to do running backs? Okay, I like. What's up with the running backs, man? Kyron starting, Corum maybe splits, and then RB3. Is it going to be Ronnie Rivers again? Does Jarquez take over that spot? What are you seeing out there? What's your first reaction?
I like Jarquez.
Okay.
I like Jarquez over Ronnie Rivers. But Ronnie Rivers is one of those, hate to use this name, and I'm not saying he is as negative as this name I'm about to bring up, but he's almost one of those Troy Reader kind of players where they almost just have a guaranteed spot on the roster every year. That's what it seems like with him. I'm not saying I hate Ronnie Rivers. I like him. I like him more than I like Troy Reader, but I just think Jarquez Hunter's better. And I think trading up for Jarquez Hunter last year say you cut him, because I don't think they're going to keep 4 running backs on their roster. I think if you cut Jarquez Hunter and keep Ronnie Rivers, that's a mistake.
I see what you're talking about. Definitely because of the physical traits. Like, we know Jarquez is probably faster. We know he kind of looks for contact, whereas Ronnie Rivers' style really kind of matches. Like, hey, if you strip down all the reps of experience from Kyron Williams and just had a base model of Kyron, that's kind of what Ronnie is. Ronnie is very, like, obviously never really seen a lot of time. Doesn't have those top end, like, run away from you type stuff, but I would say he's good in pass protection. He understands the offense, and he has the trust enough where I think he had like a carry or two, like down the stretch. It wasn't in the postseason. He had like a carry, like randomly. I can't remember if
He
it was
had
a
he
Seattle
started
quarter.
the only game I think he was like actually active and taking reps in
Mhm.
was the wild card round versus Carolina. And
I
that's
was gonna
it.
say, I feel like second half he had some carries. I was like, was that Ronnie Rivers? Like, okay, cool. um, Yeah, Jarquez has never taken a snap. I don't know if he was even activated for a week last year. He was elevated, I think, once or twice. I think the path for either one of those guys is going to be special teams as well. I don't think there's a path for. I don't think there's a path for either of those guys to steal snaps from Corum or Kyron. I think they're playing at a different level, like it's just a different game right now. And it's because of pass protection. It's because of screen. It's because of how intricate everything is in Sean's system, where I just don't think they're catching up anytime soon. Sorry to tell you that. But what I will say is I don't think either one of them get cut. I think regardless of who they give the nod for RB3, I do think the fourth guy is practice squad. And I don't know if it'll stay that way the entire time. I think you may get a flip flop at some point, depending on who gets hurt during the season between those two. But which one of those guys do you think has more special teams value between Hunter and Ronnie Rivers?
It's hard to tell. I think Ronnie has more, of course, experience in the system, but I don't know how much. It's kind of hard to tell in terms of special teams because, of course, you have Ventrone in there now. So I don't know how much is going to change from that. So I don't know. Roger wasn't a very big fan of my Jarquez Hunter take, though.
Why not?
Or my run. I don't know. I guess Roger's higher on Ronnie Rivers than I am. But
It's the I think it's understanding the safety in it for sure. They like him for a reason. Like he's here. Like he's earned a spot every year. I don't think there's any case where a guy is just there because they like him. I even feel that with Troy Reader, unfortunately. Don't yawn on me. Don't do that. How could you? How could you?
tired, dog. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Tired of you. No. Yeah, Ronnie Rivers is a lot more proven and reliable. I think he understands how to read and react in the run system that they have. Jarquez, he could fool us all and look amazing and like run for 150 every single game in preseason. But I think that is his opportunity to actually edge out Ronnie potentially. I think maybe we see both. And if we do, I do think that's telling. I think that tells us that they don't know which one they want to give the nod. Because I do think Ronnie has some significant value in special teams as an up back, like on punt teams and punt return. I think he's pretty important there for sure. So Roger said he never trusted Troy.
See, I kind of didn't word it correctly. It's just I kind of meant it as the fact like he keeps coming back.
I got what you meant.
Nobody's as bad as Troy Reader. Nobody.
It was the Troy Reader.
except maybe Brett Rippin.
Brett Rip, it's dresser win. I got a text from somebody today where they can't wait. It's inevitable. Every year the dresser win has been signed to the practice squad. It seems to happen. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to look at Joe just saw my Brett Rippin post. He's not happy. I just seen that. Let me see here. Next position. I want to round it out with not position, special teams. That's what I want to round it out at. Special teams. What did you see in your time at camp from special teams that you're able to report on? And what's your take on it? Is it better? Is it worse? What's going on with that?
Am I able to report on a certain running back getting
It's already out there.
punt return?
It's
Yeah,
it's already been
Kyron
reported on.
Williams getting punt return reps.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's gonna tell. I think because I saw him a lot, but I also saw Xavier Smith. I think I saw Whittington. Just I saw kind of a handful of guys out there uh, taking punt reps. So I don't think I'd like the idea of my starting running back taking punt return reps. But I mean, hey, if something works and something works, I'm honestly open to anybody returning punts. Well, not anybody. I don't want Kevin Dotson back there, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really. It's. I think you just missed it, corn doggy. Yeah, it's been reported a bunch. First by fans, and then by some other beat writers about asking, like even Ventrone about letting guys like Kyron take some reps. Letting is Xavier Smith still progressing, and Jay Witt. Like they've kind of mentioned a few names like already publicly. I genuinely have zero clue actually how they go. I don't make a habit of counting reps, especially with special teams, and I don't know Ventrone. I don't know what his tendencies are going to be. What I do know is the sense of urgency and all the coaches and players from special teams talking about the commitment to the details. Like the details are what matters for special teams and that intensity, and they seem to be ramped up this season. That intensity I was able to kind of get a feel for compared to last year. Last year was kind of like a humdrum, just all right, go through the motions, like just get to your spot. But from the get-go, like regardless of who was returning, when they're doing like on air or live reps and special teams, like there was a sense of like, get the fuck, like let's go. And there's some juice from the returners hitting through that first wave. Was impressed with that. And from the guys that I see come in here and talking with Harrison Mevis, the kicker, like seeing his mindset as the only camp leg and right on cue. Aiden said the field goal operation looks smooth. It's quick, very quick. It's very, very fast. Mevis has a leg. Like it's a cannon. Like we just haven't really got a chance to see it. But I think we're going to see it now as he gets more comfortable with his unit. But Grant Stewart and Joe Cardona are the two names that I think are going to help revamp that whole special teams apart from just Ventrone as a coach. Just because like watching Cardona, man, like you don't really get a chance to watch long snappers up close and how accurate they are. But watching a long snapper place the laces on the holder's fingers, the exact same spot every single time over and over is pretty impressive. I'm assuming all snappers can do something like that, but watching, like knowing that your team has that is comforting. And then just the intensity that you get from Grant Stewart. I mean, you talked to him. Like, what was your vibe from Grant, the new linebacker they got from Detroit?
he's a chill dude, and I think it was you that said it. You could hear him like all over the field. He's loud. He's loud. I'm fired up for Grant Stewart, man. He's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be like a first team linebacker. I think he's gonna play more of a role in special teams, but he's gonna be a special teams ace. I mean, he's just that guy. He's gonna be that probably that driving force on special teams. He might end up even being a captain for his efforts on special teams. So yeah, I think he just has a lot of energy. I don't know who said it, but somebody said he's just like a Tasmanian devil out there. Just
Shula. Yeah, Shula. Yeah, Shula mentioned that. And I agree. It will be fun in however many reps he earns on defense. I don't think he did enough to take away like Landman or Spates reps like in mass like that. But if he is on the field, like you can expect a lot of intensity. He's chill to talk to, like he's very easygoing, but I wouldn't use chill as a vibe like in his soul. He's an intense individual. Like, what were his first words? Because I was like, yeah, just let us know if there's anything like you don't want to talk about, like topic wise. I usually say that because some guys maybe they don't want to talk about a previous coach or like, I just don't want to talk about my time with the Colts or line. Like some guys are like that. He was just like, just don't ask me about that Superwoman movie or Supergirl movie. I was like, all right, wasn't planning on it. But no, that would be cool if he actually ended up as special teams coach. See, Cheeky Metro, you can't listen to other fan bases. They don't want the Rams to improve, so we can't rely on their analyses of what the Rams do and don't do well. That's like, if you're on the political watch of everything, that's like listening to, if you're a Republican, listening to Democrats, say like, they're doing things wrong. It's like, okay, you're my competitor. Like, I'm not going to take advice from you. Like, if you feel you're doing the right thing, and same with them. Like, we don't feel a certain way about Sam Darnold like they do. It's not our team. I'm higher on him, but anyways, Mudeep says, I kind of want to know his Superwoman take now. We'll just say this. It was not the same as it was for Dune, or not Dune, for Odyssey. It was not the same feedback that we got. That's what I'll say. Did you ask him about his first TV interview? Oh, from Mevis? Yeah, the audio listing was like super. It just sounds like bad AI, like clipping, to be honest. If you guys have ever seen those, there's some news channels out there that have zero human back end from like final editing to upload. There's no human interaction. It's like all AI. And so sometimes you get some choppiness of like the AI filling in the gaps, and it is like demonic, and it's very creepy to listen to. Yeah, I don't like that. But no, special teams I think will be improved. I think you feel that same way. How I want to send this out is I want to hear your biggest camp surprise, and then they count it as a winner, and then maybe somebody that you didn't see as much as you thought. So not so much a winner loser, but put it in actual general terms of who shined that you didn't expect, and who did you not see enough out of that you're just kind of left questioning, like, maybe it's still a question mark.
Who shined that I didn't expect?
Or shined that you think deserves more credit that you haven't seen in the media so far?
I'll say that I didn't expect was Cam Lampkin. I remember we recorded a thing on the DBs, part of your op series, and I remember saying Cam Lampkin could make the roster. Like, that was my take. And then you go out there and you see Cam Lampkin like making actual genuine like quality plays on the ball, and I'm just like, well, damn, hey, I was right. I was right. I said it before you said it. So, yeah, I think Lampkin was my biggest surprise, just seeing him go out there. I think he had a pair of interceptions throughout camp. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know he had at least one.
Yeah, I'm actually finding Stu Jackson coming through with the clutch here. CB Cam Lampkin also deserves a shout out for his impressive interception in practice today. Back-to-back practices, he stood out. So yes, he had a few. But that's what we're talking about from earlier, where it's not just it's like not just they're not just top heavy with Watson and McDuffie, but the rest of that depth is going to be better from it because they're just getting more confidence. Like, now that you're seeing what's potentially you could reach as a cornerback in this league and in this room, you're getting it from those guys now. And so, yeah, he's going to be better. Forbes is going to be better. I think Josh Wallace is going to. We didn't get a chance to see him. He was dealing with something all camp, but great call. And then who was somebody that you didn't see enough of that you kind of still are waiting to see maybe in preseason, or he's just going to be a question mark this year?
It's hard. I'm trying to think. Who did I not see enough of? You said Josh Wallace, which I mean is true. This is hard. I feel like I saw pretty much everybody.
While you think about it, we've got Roger with another $9.99. Thank you, Roger. Thank you all for the coverage this training camp. The insight y'all provided was top tier. And for that, sir, you get a healthy little fa for you. Appreciate you. We'll get you with the air horns tonight on both horns when Joe's back. We'll ask him where he put the toys at. He hid them from me. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Kamal got it. There he is. So yeah. Anybody that rummaged in that mind, or you want me to go?
You go. Maybe I'll think of somebody.
Yeah, maybe we'll get the Roon air horns for this one before we leave here. Stick around, Roger. We'll see what he decides. Aiden says one camp standout for him got to be Dolak. Hard to keep him on the field. He had some plays for sure. He had a pick six on Stetson Bennett. I don't know if that was a errant throw or miscommunication with his receiver because it was short over the middle. That usually tells me the guy was supposed to keep going and stop when he wasn't supposed to. But I think somebody who deserves a little bit more credit is actually Coleman Shelton. He got shouted out by Kevin Dotson in my conversation with Warren McClendon about how he really is the actual QB2 on the field. His rapport with Stafford is really the driving force with that offensive line, keeping him safe. Their communication starting between those two, branching out to the tackles, and then the tight ends, running backs. That ring of protection around Stafford that we're so worried about. I think it starts and ends with Coleman Shelton and his relationship with him. And I think he needs a lot more credit if Stafford puts together another like MVP like year and the Rams do it all. Like, he is one of the unsung heroes that gets zero attention at all. And he was like not talked about enough when he rejoined the team last offseason. So a lot of ifs there, but from what I'm seeing so far, man, he's very important. And the one I would probably say the tight ends, if not Ferguson. I know there's a lot of reports of people saying, how great he looked in the offseason, this and that. And I see it. Like there was like once or twice a day where it's like, okay, even if it was a near miss, you see that connection with Stafford growing. You see the physical tools where he's separating easily from Manuel Forbes, and Jalen Watson's falling and slipping because he's just so physical and big, like potentially influencing that. But I never saw a day where him or any of the tight ends like took over a practice, and that could be by design by McVay to hide shit or just where they're at in the installation. But I don't think that in all their 13 personnel usage that they're probably planning this year that we see Terrence Ferguson whip out like 1,200 yards out of nowhere. I don't see it. I think as a room collectively, I think a big year would be like if the tight ends collectively reach 1,000 yards. I think that's a recipe for success, and he could be a big chunk playmaker for sure, but still a question mark. I got to see that connection with Stafford. So it's more on their ability to work together than it is like his physical tools, because clearly he's fucking talented. He's big as hell too. Like seeing him up close in person with an off season, like dude, he's huge. Pause. Pause. Moody said, "Who do you want to cut?" That's a good one to end on. Who do you want to cut? Who do you think misses the roster? And then we'll cue out of here.
I don't know. I think somebody who could miss the roster. Maybe we see our boy Xavier Smith get the boot. I don't know.
I keep seeing that. I don't know. Like, I'm confused.
It's hard because we don't know how much of each position they want to keep. Like, they're probably going to keep 3 quarterbacks, but how many running backs do they want to keep? Do they want to keep Kyron Corum Jarquez, and then Ronnie Rivers? It's kind of hard, kind of in that regard. But I think Bill Norton.
Yeah,
that's just a name I see getting cut.
Yeah,
like him.
I don't think he's very high on the maybe list, the pecking order. Mine is potentially because of those reasons that we talked about, like you just mentioned, the numbers, like what do they want to keep on a game day basis. I think Max Clare falls in that category. Like I don't see them wanting to keep every single week. What if they want to go a little bit more wide receiver heavy? Like what if they want to carry 6 or 7 and they need to carry 4 or 5? I think for sure it's Higbee, Parkinson, Ferguson, and then Davis. Like you roll those 4. I don't think it's a guarantee that Claire is just active the entire season. Just because it's loaded. It's a full room and they have a lot of targets. Like not every guy is going to get 10 targets deservedly. So yeah, 5 tight ends takes away a spot from another group. And because of offensive tackle, I get worried about that as well. But that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, if you guys have any questions that we missed that you want us to hit on both horns tonight, make sure you drop a comment below. What did you guys think of our camp coverage? Don't lie. Did we suck? Did we nail it for you? Should we go back next year? And then let us know who you guys think may miss the roster. That's my question for you guys. I've got my opinions. Roon's got his, but you guys see something different with your screens every single day. And so I want to hear from you. Who do you guys think potentially misses? And last question, Tuna, will you be at Dallas Rams practice game tomorrow? I will not be. They did not extend credentials. And so I got to figure something out. I want to be at the computer when that's happening. So I got to report stuff out, but I won't be there live in person this time around. So anyways, that's all we got. Make sure you guys are following Roon over at Rams Active. It is the co-stream here on this live. Roon is everywhere. Social media, Instagram, Twitter, Substack as well. Make sure you guys are following him on that. And me as well, I guess. Go hit buttons, subscribe, press like, and we'll catch you guys later tonight. And where's my hit that?